If I engage in the act of self-defense, is that racist? Ooh, John Kennedy, this is going to be a good one. You guys are in for a treat. If you don't know about this guy, yeah, just watch.
Like the kid, here go.
Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that, I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech. But that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
Stop being a Karen.
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
No, I just want to clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it.
Shut up. We don't want to hear it, you lying Karen.
Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruin, Supreme Court case.
Oh, that's a big one.
And Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
This one's for the two-way guys.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy."
You tripping, bro. You tripping.
Bro.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say,
Houseway.
quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again.
He just hung up on the president.
Quote, "By simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well." Close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Oh, that sounds like me. This is the equivalent of I said what I said. Bro, these are your lawyers. This is who's teaching law. This is why in America our legal system is so jacked up now.
You ain't lying.
Because we got lawyers who are becoming lawyers not for advocacy. They just want to become activists.
He's cooking that.
Unfortunately, what this Karen here is saying is that the Supreme Court is not practicing the interpretation of law, that the Supreme Court is practicing oppression. More importantly, white oppression.
What did you say?
This lady here is single target damage waiting to happen for anyone. She is radioactive. Anyone that stands next to her.
That boy is good.
How is it that you take something such as the Second Amendment, the fundamental right, in case the First Amendment begins to fail?
He don't sound like he from around here.
He from New York City, boss.
And you say it is something that is enacted for the purposes of racism. Okay, let's test that logic. I am a staunch 2A supporter. If I protect myself, I am also a concealed carry holder. If I engage in the act of self-defense, is that racist?
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
Did I have to engage in the act of self-defense because of the Heller Bruin decision? If I am being attacked by an assailant that is of the same race as me and I have to engage in self-defense, is that racist?
Gotcha.
It is not racist to engage with the Second Amendment. Also, the Heller and Brewer decision had nothing to do with racism. I won't break down what they are. You can read them on your own time. But they are two landmark decisions that helped change the Second Amendment forever. That's another video.
In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
I can't stand when people do this. I'm not sure what the terminology for it is, but if that's what you want to call it, sure, that's what I do. She's attempting to make herself seem that she's so important that she's levitating above the rest of us to the point where she's not familiar with the everyday common layperson and their linguistics. This is what kills me about people like this. You know exactly what a tweet is. You're not that far out of the loop. Just because you live in Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard doesn't mean you're so far out of touch that you don't know what these terminology. I can't stand Karens like this.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what
he's
the
cooking.
relevance of that is.
He's
You're
about to
trying to
start
be
cooking.
provocative on there, don't you?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote, "The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy." Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
You're a victim. You are a victim. That's what she is.
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter
you
of
know.
this.
Did you
hearing.
say it?
You know.
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance
Here
of that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me like your favorite feeling is anger.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
Let me ask you this.
This is my guy. This is my guy. If John Kennedy ever ran for president, I'm voting 3 times for this guy. This is the only time I would get a second ID under a different alias to vote for him twice. This is masterful what he's doing. He's showing that regardless of what president is in play, her rhetoric has nothing to do with the placement of the president itself. She feels this way internally regardless. She is under her own self-contrived mechanisms that is not being held at bay of a firewall of who's the president. Because what she said something provocative under Biden's term. If the rhetoric was fine to say under the Biden administration, then why isn't it fine to say under the Trump administration? It has nothing to do with who's the president. It is simply put your feelings that matter. There's no firewall. Stop sitting here with this self-ingratiating, smug arrogance. What John Kennedy is doing is masterful, the way he is pulling this together. He is showing that she is acting from a state of victimhood as to why she feels the way that she feels. She herself is the oppressor.
You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy."
I can't stand it, bro. Everything is white supremacy. Everything. And it's crazy because I used to think this way. I used to think breathing was because of white supremacy. I used to think I couldn't get ahead in life was because of white supremacy. Not because of the actions that I was deciding myself. Not because I was lacking self-accountability. I am not stupid. Racism is not completely dead. But what I am not going to do is sit here and pretend that white supremacy is the elements of all things that has happened in my life. A lot of things that happened in my life was because of the decisions I made.
Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in there? Did I read that correctly? Is there a question in there? Did you not just hear me ask the question? Did I read that correctly? This is our law professors. This is our intelligentsia right now. This is something where this is so bothersome to me because I have such a love for the law. But based on me doing what I do for a living, the activism portion of it is rampant in the legal field. Rampant. Don't believe me? Just go work in the legal field for 10 days and quit. Tell me what you see. See if you don't see a bunch of septum rings and blue hair walking all around the legal office.
You really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
Did I not tell you guys the truth? You're in for a treat. This guy is thunderously based. This guy's in his 70s and just saying it like it is. This is the type of guy that I could just sit around for hours and never get tired of listening to.
I want some more.
You gotta hear this guy's idioms. He has some of the best idioms I've ever come across in my life. I love John Kennedy. Oh, I wish this guy ran for president. Oh, he would have my vote double time. In all seriousness, we have a serious problem in our legal system. There was a time in the legal system where you advocated for your client. You did not become an activist. Now, since that has become the new headwind of today's legal system, this is where we have so much ineptness in our legal process. Don't get me wrong, our legal system is not perfect. But this type of engagement, and keep in mind, more than 90% of our top institutions has less than 3% Republican presence and more than 90% Democratic presence. That is by design, not by mistake. This is the insanity that has become known as the Democratic Party.